little bit different look for today in Realtors and Rides. As you can see, I've got an empty seat over here. We are on the way to one of my preferred lenders' offices, Shelby Weston with the Money Store up on north side Oklahoma City.
And our chariot today is a 2018 Ford F-250 Super Duty. While it does look like it needs a bath, it does have four-wheel drive, and I can pretty well get anywhere in the state. At 14.2 miles per gallon, rolling downhill with a tailwind, this is what we're riding today in Realtors and Rides, getting real about real estate.
I've done several loans with him over the past couple of years. Again, he's just kind of one of my preferred lenders, but certainly everybody has that need. So as we're going through and talking to different clients, obviously if I know there might be a challenge, then obviously I've got a whole Rolodex of lenders that I can send them to that I know will get the job done. So we are heading that way right now. I've got a meeting with him, but in the meantime, I've decided it's time for a haircut because I noticed on episode 2, which was we shot yesterday, I'm getting a little shaggy. And then when I pulled up my scissors and scotch account, it showed it's been 43 days since last time I was in to get a haircut. So I'm off to see my favorite stylist, Grayson, to get my haircut. So hang in there. I might show you a little bit of the drive on 235 and head north side. Then we'll pop over to Shelby's office, have a quick discussion on what he sees, kind of what's going to happen in 24 based on where we're at with interest rates. Obviously that stuff changes all the time, and it's not. I'm not licensed to speak about it, but I can certainly read a paper and read an app. So we are seeing some changes in interest rates, and which then in turn means it's more affordable for people to qualify for mortgages. Yes, I know houses are expensive. There's a reason, because there's not many for sale. We've still been trying to recover our inventory from the pandemic 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and where everything got crazy during that time. We're still short on the number of houses that we have for sale, and what that means is, houses are a supply and demand market. So if we have fewer houses, that means the price goes up. If we have a whole bunch of houses, that means the price goes down. So right now we don't have many mortgages or houses that are for sale, which then drives the price up because people aren't wanting to sell. And whether that's interest rates, cost of the next house, they are waiting for construction prices to come down. I know that's why the wife and I have not built on our property yet, because we probably should have done that right off the bat in 2019. But, if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I would have won the multi-billion-dollar lottery many times over if I could have been told the numbers, but that's the way it is. So as we navigate these ever so smooth streets in downtown Oklahoma City, it's a lot worse than a four-wheel drive, but we will have a discussion, see what Shelby thinks. But again, it's an ever-changing field. Things are constantly moving and evolving, and if you're not paying attention, you can get left in the dust real quick. I'm going to drive by the state capitol here in a second, so I thought that might be worthy of showing you. The interesting thing about the Oklahoma State Capitol is up until a few years ago, we didn't have the dome finished. I think it was under Governor Fallon that we finished it with a lot of private money. And it's really kind of beautiful inside. I was in it last year when the National Association came through Oklahoma City on their national tour, but we'll drive right by it. And yes, we do have an operational oil well at the state capitol in Oklahoma. On the Hearn Homestead, that's a Cool place. Been to a couple of weddings there. Lots of neat things to do in and around Oklahoma. Places I hadn't even been. I've been here my entire life. There it is, state capitol. Oklahoma History Center. I haven't been in there yet, but it looked pretty cool. I had some people that took some pictures and video there, I don't know, a month or so ago. And I'm not sure whose plane that is, if that's Will Rogers or Wiley Post's, but anybody knows about our history in Oklahoma, we've named our 2 airports in Oklahoma City, one being the major one that all the commercial flights come into, Will Rogers World Airport, and then a smaller one, which is Wiley Post Airport, both of which were killed in plane crashes together. So we do have a sense of humor, I think. And 235, which runs kind of in the middle of Oklahoma City, this tends to get a little backed up in the mornings and in the afternoons. Everybody accessing for their commute drive back up into Edmond. We're going to cross over I-44 here in a minute. They've done a bunch of interchange work, so a lot of it has changed over the past few months. So the rail bridge was interesting. They had 4 hours to get this put across the highway when they were redoing all this, and they did it in 2. And here's one of the new interchanges that we've put up that 235 to 44 and then Northwest 63rd. This was a mess for a while, but much easier to navigate now. And speaking of expensive neighborhoods, the Nichols Hills is off to the left up here in Northwest 63rd, kind of goes through the middle of it. Several multi-million-dollar homes in there. Truck's not happy. Okay, I'll have to get a haircut. All right, haircut done. A little better. Not quite as heavy and floppy as it was. So we are off to Shelby's. So another quick trip down the road, and we are good to go. All right, we are here at Shelby's place. So we'll hop out and go see what he's up to. Okay, well, as I said, realtors and rides. I had an empty seat today, but I was up here to see Shelby. So, Shelby with the Money Store is one of my preferred lenders. I've sent him a ton of business, and you've helped me out on some pretty crazy deals.
Lots of deals.
Over time. So, and mainly what we kind of want to talk about today is kind of what we're seeing in the market.
Okay.
And kind of what to expect over the next, nobody has a crystal ball. I mean, obviously, as I said earlier, if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be having this conversation because I'd be sitting on a beach someplace because I would have picked the winning lottery numbers. But I mean, obviously things are changing. I mean, my background, I spent a lot of time in a bank, so I'm kind of seeing stuff that is like, why is it doing that? It shouldn't be doing that. So from your perspective,
from my perspective, one thing I like to say is I feel like the rates are artificially up. that basically inflation has made it to where rates are artificially up, and even though inflation's coming down, they're staying up, and everybody's like, why? And what's going on with the Fed, and why aren't we seeing rate cuts? And they want it to be at a certain number. I will say that the bond market has seemed to autocorrect itself.
Yeah.
Rates have came down almost a point to a point and a half here recently. Rates today are in the low sixes to mid sixes, which is great. Still a fantastic rate. One thing I've been telling a lot of my clients is that if you wait for these artificial rates to come down next year, which is anticipated, our first rate cut could be anywhere in March to April to May, and that's just going to start bringing rates down. Well, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a lot of influx of buyers in the market. When you have an influx of buyers in the market, that's going to bring the prices up. So if you're smart and you want to be a smart buyer, to me, right now is the best time to buy. Mm-hmm. You're buying when right now prices are lower, where you're able to negotiate with the seller to pay some closing costs if you need it. You're able to get a lower price on a home versus when you wait and the rates go down and everybody's in the market, you're going to pay a lot more for the home. So I feel like it's a great time to buy. I feel like it's one of the best times to buy, especially with what they're talking about with appreciation and how homes are going to be valued more next year.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got kind of a repeat of the COVID market 2 years ago when everybody and their dog was out trying to buy something.
100%.
15, 20, 30.
Yeah.
I think one of our agents had 32 offers on one house they had listed within hours of it hitting the market.
It can be very frustrating for a buyer in that market.
But yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the other thing too, is from a seller standpoint, it's you can wait, but at the same time, you've also got this pool of buyers that if you need to sell right now, right now's the time to go.
I really do feel like it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to be in the market. A lot of people ask, what is the process? And it's so easy, and a lot of people are kind of tense about it. They're afraid. They don't want to give information out, or they just don't know the process. And really, the simplest thing to do is, if you're thinking about buying in the next year, even 2 years, even 6 months, have a bank look over your file. There's no obligation. There's no cost to it with us, and we will go in and we'll deep dive and look at everything, so that if you are going to be buying in 6 months or you are going to be buying in a year, at least you know where you sit.
Yeah.
And again, it's no obligation. So the good thing about the pre-approvals that my bank offers is they're good for 120 days. There's no rush. If you want to move quickly, we can. But it's as simple as filling an application out. Let's look and see where you're at. You never know. You may be ready to go right now. You didn't know it. You didn't understand that it's a lot more affordable, because the cost of out of pocket, you may be able to do down payment assistance. There are programs out there that are 100% financing. There's a lot of products that are out there right now that you may not know about, and at least you know where you sit. Yeah. And that's what I say. So.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the frustrating thing, is you get what used to be like years ago when I was not an agent.
Yeah.
That was, we'll just go find a house, and then if we like it, then we'll go worry about financing. But It's become so aggressive now that you pretty much got to have that in hand before you'll even go out.
Agreed. And I think too, from a buying standpoint, I would want to know if I'm looking at the right house that I want my payment to be at.
Yeah.
If I'm in the right price range, or maybe I can go up in the price and I didn't realize that what the payment was going to be. So I think it's very important that if you can get this out of the way, and talk to a guy like myself that's very easy to talk to. I promise I won't bite. It's just one of those things that we do care about you. We care about the client. We care about every deal that comes in. You're not a number. You are a face. We love to meet with people in person and just get to know you, and really just show you how easy the process is and how not scary it is.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, if you've got a house now, you kind of understand the process. There's been some bumps in the road with changes. Like if you bought a house 10 years ago, it's a much different process now. What about first-time buyers? What's kind of that landscape look like for them? What programs are out there? What's the benefit for them to get out of paying a landlord to rent, and start building some equity?
I always feel like one of your biggest investments is a home. And again, it can be kind of a scarier process, but what you need to understand is it can be the biggest reward. Owning a home, the biggest reward you're going to get is you're going to get an appreciating asset that's going up in value. The other thing that you're going to get is the largest tax write-off that you can have. And so for a first-time buyer, you need to know that there are down payment assistance programs out there. There are first-time buyer programs that are easy to qualify for. We have one particular program that a lot of our clients use. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to actually use the program. It covers your entire down payment. and you just have to qualify for an FHA loan.
Okay.
So the requirements would be like a 640 credit score. And as the person that is qualifying for the loan, they cannot make more than $150,000.
Okay.
So it's a great product that's out there. There are also veterans loans. We're a VA specialist. We've worked with veterans for years, where the veterans may not know or do know that they get 100% financing. As a first-time buyer, there are also loans in rural areas where you get 100% financing if you are a first-time buyer or you don't own another home. So you don't have to be a first-time buyer on a lot of these products.
Okay.
So there's just so much potential for first-time buyers. The process is much easier than even before, I feel like. I would say that have some of the products tightened up. Some of them have. But for the most part, there's so many products out there that are great for first-time buyers.
Right. So what would be the difference between the money store with you versus a bank? I mean, is there any flexibility? Is there something different?
100%. Yeah. I like to say that there's 3 tiers to banking when it comes to mortgages. You have your bank, where the bank has their one set of rules, their one set of interest rates, and they can make up what's called adverse loans, where they want you to be a minimum of 10% down and a 700 credit score. They are making their overlays to loan programs because they're the bank and this is what they want. They feel like these loans are going to perform at this level, at a high level. When it comes to a broker is another option, where the broker has really no control of your file. They basically take your application and they send it off to a company in Utah or Colorado, and they hope the loan goes through, and they have no control of it. And so what I feel like the best possible outcome for mortgage lending is what we actually are here at the Money Store. We are an independent mortgage bank. We are a bank. We fund with our own loans. We do everything in-house from underwriting to closing. But the benefit of being a mortgage bank is we have 100 investors on the secondary market that we can underwrite to, that we can go off of their guidelines. So we have way more choices. We shop the interest rate for you on the open market. And even though we are the bank and we will be servicing your loan, there's a lot more opportunities. And we go directly to the guidelines. So if a guideline says you can go down to a 580, we will work with a 580 credit score.
Okay.
Other than being with a bank or broker that doesn't really have any control or has overlays.
Well, of course, with the bank, they've got to answer to the feds, the FDIC, and all the government regulation.
Right. That's correct.
So they're more hamstrung than
they're tighter.
Where you've got a wider pool of investors that would pick that up versus
100%.
a bank that was just like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's always the I guess the pushback that I get from some of my clients is, hey, just here's again, I've got a list of 2 or 3 people that it's like, these are the ones that I recommend.
Yeah.
Put one with every one of them. See which one has the best deal.
Yeah.
So, and when you're looking at a loan, say for instance that somebody went to a bank or credit union, they banked at forever, versus looking at you, what is the one thing that a buyer needs to look at once they've gotten that pre-approval back from that lender? How do they figure out which one's the best deal?
Right. So when you do have a lender that you've been pre-approved with, it is good to shop around. And it allows us lenders, when banks compete, you win. So if you do have a pre-approval from another bank, we'd love to have an option to look at it with you. But the way you can compare those is just looking not just at the interest rate, because interest rate isn't everything. Interest rate is just one part of your home loan. There are also fees that you may not know that they're charging you to make the file look better or to make the interest rate look better. It could be an adjustable rate mortgage, and you don't want those. You want a fixed rate mortgage. And so, I think the biggest thing is you got to have a trust factor with your bank. You got to know someone's sitting here working for you, looking out after you, and giving you all the information up front. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what we do here at the Weston team. We give you options. We know that we need to give you options to let you make your decision. Right. And I think that's big. I think a lot of lenders just say, well, I've been doing it for such and such time, and this is what you're doing. And I don't believe in that. I really, truly believe in we listen to our clients. We need to ask them the questions. We need to listen to what they want, where they want their payment, what they want their out-of-pocket to be.
Right.
Give them options and let them decide what they would like to do.
Yeah, exactly. So do you do this strictly personal loans, real estate? Do you do anything else?
No, so all I do is mortgage loans, and all I do is residential lending. So residential lending, what that is, it's a property that's 1 to 4 units. So if you want to buy a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, we are your guy. I do like, if you're looking at new construction, we want to build a custom home, we can pretty much do anything. If I can't do it when it comes to a mortgage, I have other banks that I participate with that I can refer you to if your loan is doable. So I feel like we are a one-stop shop, meaning that we have every loan, every product, and if we don't have it and it can be done, we have another avenue for you. And I think that's where we kind of succeed and probably push us to a higher level than other businesses. But we do not do commercial lending, but I do have referrals for that.
Right.
If you want a referral for an auto loan, being in finance
Sure.
for as long as I have been, we've made great connections with other banks that we can definitely help our clients with.
Okay, so got you. So, from a single home purchase, I mean, obviously you can do up to a fourplex.
Yeah.
So anybody who's looking to maybe buy a fourplex, live in one of them, rent the other three out,
100%.
then
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
be your own landlord.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, of course, all of our contact info is down below. You'll see Shelby's and my info. If there's any questions or anything that we can help you with, I mean, certainly we'd be happy to jump on a call, send an email, text, WhatsApp. No, don't send me a WhatsApp. don't even do that. Of course, we're certainly willing to help, ready to help, and this is something we enjoy doing. I enjoy the hunt of trying to find a house for a client, and then of course when we find it, then I like going to my lenders that I know can help them. So certainly appreciate the time.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Appreciate it,
you. Yeah.
and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.